Hey, you guys, it's your guy, Carl Anthony, the average man with the master plan, running for president 2024, and I'm back again. Of course, I run as an independent because I hate both parties. But today I want to talk about what I call the death of the middle class. The middle class is dying, guys. I am in said middle class, and I'm hanging on by the shred of a tooth. Now, yes, my bills are paid. Yes, I have a nice little job, but I can't buy a home. I can't take care of a wife and children without her working. But my father, the boomer, they had this same opportunity with less education. I have not only one degree, I have 2 degrees, a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and I also have an associate's degree in software technology. Yes, sounds like I should be making a lot of money. We'll deal with that later. The point is, the middle class is dying, guys. Look at the cost of living. Look at the cost of inflation. Look at the cost of everything that goes up. My parents got out of their high school, went and got trade jobs. My dad went to the military, came back and became an officer, and they eventually bought a house. No problem, and that house cost them $30,000. A 2-level, full 3-bedroom house with a basement in Philadelphia. $30,000. I found out recently that house is now worth $200,000 to $300,000. Okay? So my parents, literally, if they had the same jobs they had today, that they had when they were kids and young and in their 20s, they couldn't afford the house that they have purchased. They wouldn't have the pensions that they use in their older age now to keep things going and be comfortable. We don't have that in modern times. We have the 401k, which is really not a pension. It's us paying for our own retirement. And our jobs simply don't pay enough to cover full family circumstances. I, as mentioned, have multiple degrees. I should be able to take care of a family by myself and get a home and be fine, but that is not true. We would live like poor people, essentially. And that's because the middle class is dying, and I want to talk about how can we save the middle class. Now, if you guys don't know, the middle class was a great experiment by the United States government back in the 20s and 40s and in the World War days. Previous to that, worldwide, there was no middle class. There was only peasants and kings. You guys remember that, right? And indentured servants who could maybe transition into higher levels of society. This became America's great project. So after World War I and World War II, and 7 million guys came back, they had programs, housing, the GI Bill, all types of programs that put Americans into jobs and homes. And since most of the rest of the world was damaged from the war, we were able to recover and be high-producing manufacturers, which used to be the core. You remember the old commercials? Made in America. Talking to my brothers. But you remember the old commercials, Made in America. Remember that was an important thing? Having an actual Made in America sticker on something you bought? Now, it's all made in China, Japan, Taiwan, Mexico, everywhere but here because it's cheaper. We have outsourced all of the good manufacturing jobs that made America the great place it is, made the middle class the great thing it is, and made the families the great thing that we came from, who they are. But now, since all those things are gone, we don't produce anything. We just consume and manage now. So unless you're in the tech field or some sort of other management field, you're essentially left with nothing of high quality to work for. And we need to return this to America. Now you would say, okay, Carl, well, how are we going to do that? How are we going to convince corporations to come back and build here? I have 2 plans for that scenario. Plan number 1 is we gotta make America business friendly and then put constraints on them for hiring and pay afterwards. One of the flaws to a lot of laws and changes that we make is we'll do things to make business build, but we won't make any constraints on how much they have to pay people or who they have to hire. And they end up underpaying people, taking advantage of the money, and not giving the American people or government what they deserve for the benefits we provided. I want to change that. And it does start with low interest rates and costs for businesses to build in certain places, especially the most desolate places in America, your Phillies, your Detroits, your small places in Mississippi, South Carolina, all over this country, the Midwest, Central America, up in the mountains, everywhere, right? So that's one way that we're going to help bring manufacturing back. Secondary, along with that, we still have to deal with our trade imbalances and circumstances with China, so we can make sure it is more expensive to build outside of America than it is inside of America. For the last 30 years, it has been the opposite. It is cheaper to build outside of America and bring it in than build here and just pay people well. And that's why we've lost manufacturing, and we have accidentally let it get away, and we let our politicians do that to us. Now let's say, oh, Carl, well, what if they don't want to come back? What if they're happy where they are? What if even if you make changes, it's not enough for them, right? Here is my solution to that. I believe the U.S. government should get into the capitalism game. We don't have to be like a socialist or communist country that actually controls the companies as a government entity. No, we want to keep capitalism alive. So what the American government should do, we should start making our own brand of products. This brand of products I have come up with is called Americo products. And what Americo products are is everything. Develop a car. We're going to develop TVs. We're going to develop cell phones. We have the technology. We have the equipment. We have the intellect. And we have the work ethic. And we have the American work power behind us. This is something we could do easily. And we could, as the American government, put markets on the product to compete with the individual capitalistic companies also. So then that way, if they overprice or underpay, we won't. We can pay people what they deserve. Because we're the government, we'll be able to have low prices for products, and then we will force change and competition all over the country to make things more available and optional. Wouldn't you love to have an Americo cell phone, an Americo car? We can make it, and we can make it right here in America. Americo products would save this country. And as this is America, you know we would make the best products, you know we would make the nicest products, and you know we would make the products that everybody wants. And this is what I need you guys to think about. I really have to save the middle class. If we don't do this, guys, we're looking at a 20 to 30 year countdown to the end of all we love. So let's bring back and save the middle class, return the promise that has been lost to the young men of America. That's why you see these school shootings. That's why you see all the violence in the major cities. That's why you see the kids in DC charging $1 to squeegee your window. There's no good jobs of quality and value out there for our young men and women, and it's causing the country to turn on itself. We have spread too far out. It's time to rebuild back home. Save the middle class. Carl Anthony for president. I love you guys. 2024, vote independent, and let's keep the good fight going.